Another Saturday night of racing is in the books at the toughest track in the South, the Punta Speedway. And if you weren't here, you missed it. Yes, every weekend when you're not here and you come to the race, let's see. If you're not here, you're not here. You missed it, plain and simple. You missed it. You need to make your way out here because we got more racing here in the month of December. But we're going to kick it off right now. First race out of the box was the Perfect Pest Control Pro Force, and coming back to the winner's circle, and this time getting the job done the right way, taking the top spot, the first place, the 63 machine out of Venice, Mr. Chris Bridges, getting real excited and coming home the winner. Finishing second was the 87 of Skylar Knoll, the best finish so far for that young man, 14 years old and getting the job done. I'm sure he'll be up in the winner's circle pretty soon. Finishing third was the 61 of Paul Richards Jr., but due to some unsportsmanlike contact, he was disqualified, and that moved the 04 of Ryan Culver up into the third spot. And got a couple drivers with us here tonight, our drivers of the week. It's always fun here at the Punta Gorda Speedway to watch these guys and girls go round and round. Some of the top drivers right here in the tower with me tonight. We're going to kick it off with one of our street stock / road warrior drivers, Mr. Richard Nelson here, hanging out with me. And Richard, thanks for joining us here in the tower, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for being up here.
Well, we enjoy coming out here and watching you guys race, and I know it's a big, basically family affair. You and your beautiful wife out here having a good time every Saturday night. Her coaching you along out there on the front straightaway. I mean, we got to give some thanks to her because she is your biggest cheerleader down there, man.
No, she is. She's the biggest fan. She's the biggest part of this racing deal. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be out here. You know, your wife's one of the main deals, so I appreciate her every week, and also the sponsors and everything, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, definitely, because you gotta thank the wives because they're the ones that do let us come out here and do this, man.
That's right. They let us come here and let us spend the money, so.
You know, you've been coming out here racing for quite a while now. I know you raced up north for a while at the DeSoto track, and now you're down here with us. It was great seeing you come down here and run with these boys, and you were fast right out of the box with that big Monte Carlo, bud.
Yeah, what you guys noticed, I won a championship, but yeah, me and my wife got married to DeSoto. Car count went down, DeSoto went down, so we came down here, tried Kevin's track out. It was a nice track, a lot of car count. It was a lot of fun coming down here racing on Kevin's track, and also, you know, I did work for him for over a year and raced at his track, but it's a nice track.
You know, what's cool now is watching you come out here and pull the double duty, and that's running the 80 with the street stocks now and still running the road warrior and everything. How hard of a transition was it for you going over to the street stock, or had you been at that level of racing before or driven something a little bit higher than a road warrior?
In Kansas, when I started over 15 years ago, I used to run a street stock on dirt. But, you know, coming here, started the asphalt is different, so a road warrior. So moving up to the street stock was a big deal. It was a pretty good transition, a lot more speed, a lot more accuracy on those cars, but I think I'm getting it dialed down with EJ's help, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, there's something I didn't know, and that name gets brought up a lot here at the Punta Gorda Speedway over the past 20-some-odd years, almost 22, 23 years, and that's EJ Trevette. How'd you get hooked up with EJ?
You know, I was winning here, won the championship. I had some bad wrecks at the end of the last year. I went and talked to Kevin. I was working with Kevin. Told him I was looking for somebody good in this area because I was from up north, and Kevin said, well, the best guy around is EJ Trevette. So I got a hold of EJ, went down there. He set up the street stock, wound up Road Warriors getting a little bad, so we took the Road Warrior down to him. He's a real good guy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's pretty neat getting to roll into his shop and have him work on your cars, and even just listening to him talk about the old days in racing too.
Oh, I really like that part, him talking about Richard Petty and all those old people. He can sit and talk to you a long time. He has a lot of history behind him.
Even the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yep, he did built the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That I love it whenever I hear that drivers have gotten hooked up with EJ Trevette. I mean, I've thrown his name out there on more than one occasion. Gary McFall, I remember he's like, "What do I got to do? Go to EJ Trevette." So that's pretty cool. That's great that you're going to him, and glad to see that you're getting the knowledge off of him too. But you know, we're getting down to the end of the season here, and one of the big things I like about the Road Warriors and you driving the Road Warrior. Well, you driving dirt, I didn't know that. So now I know how you drive that thing side sideways so well.
Yeah. Like I said, I drove dirt 15 years, came down here. I wanted to go back to dirt, East Bay. My wife was asphalt, so I tried asphalt. But every once in a while, yeah, I still think I'm out on dirt, but I'm not.
It was definitely wild out there tonight, you guys. There was some dirt track racing in the bottom of 3 and 4, but you took the championship the other year, and you've got some good guys that race with you. You got some guys that you have rivalries with, but it seems like all in all, you guys got a good bunch of guys out there that you race with, even the ones you have the rivalries with.
No, yeah, I like everybody has rivalries and everywhere, NASCAR, everybody, but no, that Road Warrior group, they're a real good group. The street stock guys, I'm starting to learn all those. Those guys are a real bunch of nice guys, clean drivers. I just like racing here, and the guys.
It's definitely a good show when you guys go out there, and love seeing the 80 car up front, bud.
All right, appreciate it.
Before we go, want to throw some of your sponsors in there. I know you got the third place finish tonight with the street stock. Had some bad luck with the Road Warrior getting the drive shaft blown out of it, but I know it takes a few other people than just yourself and your wife getting the job done with those cars.
No, it does. Like I said, I thank my wife every week on these cars, helping out and everything. My big sponsor right now, I have to thank BB&B Construction out of Fort Myers. David Bowe bought that street stock, put us into street stock. He's the owner, I'm the driver, and he helps out on the Road Warrior, and his name's on the Road Warrior too. Without him, there wouldn't be 2 cars.
Well, thanks, B&B. We appreciate you keeping the cars out here on the track. But Richard Nelson, thank you so much for coming up here and joining us, one of our drivers of the week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Richard Nelson, one of the drivers of the week here at the Punta Gorda Speedway. And we're going from V8 power to 4-cylinder power. And, hey, but they're still pretty fast. The guy sitting over here to my right, Chris Bridges. We fondly like to call him DQ. Got his first win, got disqualified for that one, but came back tonight with a vengeance, put it out front, got your first real win in the 63 car, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. We've been trying really hard for the past couple of years and finally paid off.
It did pay off in a big way. You were really excited down in the winner's circle tonight. We were all afraid you were going to go through the roof on the car. You were jumping up and down so much. But it's really hard to explain to people that just aren't out here. They think we just drive in circles. It takes a lot of work from everybody. I mean, I know you were so excited about that when you got out of the car.
Yeah, I really cut my teeth with that old Neon that I had a couple years ago, and that was never going to be a fast car, never going to be a race winner. And to finally get a car where I'm up front and can see it, in the past couple of weeks I finished second to Richard for who knows how long now. And to finally, have that first win, we finally got it, and it's awesome.
It's definitely awesome. It's a great feeling knowing that you guys did the work, came out here, got the job done. And you started racing right here, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Started about 2 years ago. I actually had a old Thunderbird I got from Tommy King, and I ran that for 2 races and sold it. And had that Neon for a while, and then I traded that for a metric Monty, and funding fell through on that. Traded that for this car.
And it definitely worked out for you getting into the car that you're in now, the 60, the red and silver machine with the gold numbers on it, the 63. But it's not just you behind the scenes. I mean, you do a lot of work on the car, but you've got a lot of friends, family, neighbors, and everybody behind you helping you out.
Yeah, I could probably, we'd be here for the next 10 minutes if I tried to list everybody. But, Ellis's have been a huge part. They were basically one of the first teams that really brought me in. Me and Phil started being friends on the old forum that we had a long time ago. And, then it just gets bigger and bigger. And then he started racing, and then I think I ran my first race. I don't know if it was his first or second year. I ran the Fab class in his class, and that was my first ever race. But Billy Bigley done a lot of work on this car. Like I said, Big Phil welded my seat in, so he put a bunch of time onto that. Everybody's helped me so far. It's awesome.
It just snowballs out of control. It once it gets in your blood, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's something I'll probably be doing for the rest of my life, unless something crazy happens. But I love it out here. I mean, I remember coming here as a kid with my dad, watching late models, and it's pretty cool to think like I'm out here, it's cool.
You talked about getting the Road Warrior. That fell through. You went to the 4-cylinder. So, I mean, you just started this year, full-time in the Pro 4, in the Perfect Pest Control Pro 4 class. Once you go from here, do you think you're going to step up? Do you want to go to a rear-wheel drive car, or you just think you're going to have too much fun with the front-wheel drives?
Well, the front-wheel drives are really fun, and I would love to progress. It's just I pay for everything on the car. All my sponsorships come through free stuff, like Wild Designs did all my vinyl work for free. Gulf Coast Auto Salvage has given me parts and pieces. Who else? Whoever it is, but a lot of funding actually just comes out of my back pocket. So I would love to move on, but as of right now, I'm just happy with my little 4-cylinder car that's cheap and stuff.
It's definitely a cheap, fun way to go racing. You've definitely proved that. I know when you got that first win, you got DQ'd for, I think it was something on the right front of the car, that first win you tried to get.
Well, no, actually, the first race out, I was second place and got DQ'd for left rear camber. And it was actually going the other way. So everybody complained about it. We came out and fixed it, and I think it was a couple weeks later we set the record in qualifying, and then I had that for 2 weeks, and then Richards beat me by a bunch. So I'm kind of upset that I don't get to qualify for who knows how long. I really want to go after that record because it was cool to have that. But now the car's all fixed, and tonight proved that thing's on a rail.
Maybe one night we could get Kevin to open up on a Friday night, and we could have like track record night and see how many people could go out and break the records for their classes or anything.
I'd be all over that.
Be a great way, something different to have some fun with. But Chris, congratulations on your win tonight. Can't wait for the next one, and we're going to see if you get excited enough to jump up on the roof again.
Yeah, it bode pretty good, so I don't know if it's going to support me on a second jump, but I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Always glad to have you here, my friend. Take care.
Thanks.
Another driver of the week in the Perfect Pest Control Pro Force, Chris Bridges. It's been a lot of fun at the Punta Gorda Speedway this past Saturday night, and if you weren't here, you missed it. And keep checking after the races on, the following week. You don't want to miss Florida Video's Drivers of the Week right here at the Punta Gorda Speedway. Second feature race of the night, the TQ Midgets were back in the house, and it was exciting right on the first lap again. We are flipping TQ Midgets over. The number 7 of Jamie Barnum went over, but when the dust cleared and everything settled down, got back to the racing, your top winner, Chris Gimler, the young man in the 51 car. That thing is mad loose, but he likes it that way, and he was fast, coming home the winner. Finishing second, the team, Mike Belusher out of Punta Gorda and Rob the Cowboy Kohler out of Naples. The team cars doing it up once again with the TQ Midgets, second and third place finish for them. Legends cars were here for a little fun, taking the top spot. It's 2 in a row for that young lady driving the 59X. Becca Monopoly coming home the winner, and she beat up on the boys again. Beat up on the old guys because finishing second was finishing second was Tony Steinbuck in the 54, and finishing third was Joey Lingus in the third spot. So glad to see those guys come out here getting the job done. And right out of the box, the dwarf cars were up next, and they were fast and they were crazy. It was a lot of fun. Another Naples boy putting it up front, the number 4 of Andy Pryor coming home the winner. Finishing second, John Bailey. Man, John Bailey, where did he come from? Started in the back of the pack, worked his way through the field, had some issues early on, got some help from a lot of drivers, and just screaming his way to a second-place finish. Great to see him out here. And the Cowboy, Rob Kohler out of Naples, pulling double duty again, and he finished third in the 08 in the dwarf cars. When the dwarf cars were done, the open wheel modifieds were here to impress, and it was high horsepower racing action with the open wheel modifieds. Coming home the winner, getting the pass done on the high side, LB Watch This Skaggs in the 71 machine, putting it out front on lap 15 and never looking back. He made the second place guy chasing for quite a while, Steve Arnold out of Cape Coral, and finishing third, the Iceman out of Naples, Mr. Eric Rudd, getting that just with a few laps to go, made the pass on the high side real pretty, but then that car was loose, but he hung on for that third place finish. Street stocks were up next right after the open wheel modifieds, and Mr. Richard Nelson was here to put on a show. He finished third, but coming home the winner, the big winner, 9 in a row. Can Ryan Pancoast be stopped here at the Punta Gorda Speedway? He's made it through Tech. He's made it around the track. He came up really close tonight with just a couple laps to go, making the pass, taking home the win. 9 in a row. Ryan Pancoast finishing second, the number 2 of Bobby Fisher, and third, Richard Nelson in the 80. Once they were done, the Outlaw Modifieds were here for their special event, the Morrill Caswell Memorial Challenge Race for the Outlaw Modifieds, and two-time, we'll call him two-time because the last time out he won, the number 26, Mike Indy out of Northport, getting the job done, coming home the winner. Finishing second was the number 19 of Kevin Campbell, and Kevin Campbell out of Tampa, and finishing third out of Arcadia, Mr. Rick Mills in the 22. A great race for the Outlaw Modifieds. Loving having those guys here. It's a lot of fun with those open wheel cars. Last race of the night, and it was crazy. There were cars all over the track in the Road Warriors, but coming out on top, the Nokomis Connection, Chris Scott putting it right back in the winner's circle once again, finishing second, going to be the number 10 of Jason Miller out of Lehigh Acres, and really tough night for him because when he came across the line, that motor was chattering. They've got a lot of work to do when they get back to their race shop. And finishing third out of Naples, Christopher Loney in the 33 machine, and he's having a good run also. Well, another Saturday night in the books at the Punta Gorda Speedway, and once again, if you weren't here, you missed it, and you don't want to miss it. Coming up next Saturday night, it's the toughest track in the South. It's the Punta Gorda Speedway.